Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have some very, very, very unfortunate news to share when it comes to Zenless Zone Zero, when it comes to unit balance, when it comes to predatory banners, and of course, the worst topic of all when it comes to this game, rampant power creep. Because what I have on the screen over here, ladies and gentlemen, is not a crime. It's a new incoming character for Zenless Zone Zero. She is a part of the idol faction, the Angels of Delusion. It's Suna, a physical support. And if you're familiar with Zenless Zone Zero and their design of certain characters, you know that a new character being a support is one of the scariest things that can arrive to the roster. Because when a new support agent releases, ladies and gentlemen, you know there's going to be a ton more power creep. And I've already talked about this situation before in the past when I said that Zenless Zone Zero's guaranteed S rank banner, where the first S rank is your choice and you get 20% off your 10 pull, I said this was going to be predatory. And you want to know why? Just listen. This is so predatory. You want to know why I'm going to call this predatory? Because the balance of this game does not constitute for good rerun banners. Nah. Now, this is so predatory to, like, give discounts and bait players into pulling useless units. Because the power creep in this game goes so unchecked, and characters turn useless in literally 2 months. And you want to know what beta testers for Zenless Zone Zero have already said about Suna's kit? And this is the thing. Unfortunately, this part of the video will constitute as me covering leaks. But there are certain times in a game's development where I am willing to cover leaks. And that is when I believe that the developers for this game are acting in the most disgustingly predatory manner you can imagine. The last time I covered leaks, ladies and gentlemen, you want to know when it was? It was for this fucking character, Casterus, and global passives 10 months ago. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be covering leaks for Zenless Zone Zero, because everything that I just said over here about how these rerun banners, all of that, are incredibly fucking predatory, right? Because they turn units useless. I said all of this, and lo and behold, let's check out a beta tester's thoughts on Suna. In MS Paint, though, so, you know, we're not... This isn't actually any, like, you know, actual official leak content. It's just their thoughts, right? Pros and cons. Let's read this pro over here. Not only best in slot with Yi Shangguang, but also replaces Astra Yao in almost every team and is good in anomaly teams as well. So if you're familiar with Zenless Zone Zero, this is actually the way that the supports have been working for this period of time, right? Astra Yao was like your attack support. Lucia Elowen is your rupture support. Ukanami Yazuha is your anomaly support. That's how they've had it listed out for premium supports. You had one for anomaly, one for rupture, and then one for attack, right? That was how it was split out. Those are the three main ways to do damage in this game. Now it appears that this character has power crept Astra Yao, and when this character releases in about a month and a half, guess what it's gonna officially be, guys? 2 months since this fucking banner started. And so, almost like on a dime, remember what I said, right? Because the power creep in this game goes so unchecked and characters turn useless in literally 2 months. What do you think's gonna happen 2 months? That's exactly when Suna releases to the game, is gonna be 2 months after this fucking video launched. And so, literally 2 months after this video, 2 of the 3 characters on here are power crept. Because she's already cooked after the release of Yi Shangguang, and she's cooked after the release of this piece of shit. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, Zenless Zone Zero players, are we living in different universes? Where, I already showed you, right, that I'm completely right over here. Do you want to see what the community's response has been in these situations? When I'm just literally right, we need to start taking a look at the comments, right? We need to start taking a look at the comments, guys. Don't worry, we've got a lot of those. There's a reason why I ask all the time, what is wrong with this community? And do you want to know why? You have people trying to question the reasoning of why I called ZZZ's triple banner predatory. Wow, you're saying that this banner where everyone gets such a good deal How are you saying that stuff is predatory, bro? What's wrong with you? This community is so blind to literally what the devs are doing in front of them live, to what they've seen the devs do for so many units that are now dog shit. And when it's happening again, and all I need to do is say, hey, they're going to power creep the units. Do you want to know the big emphasis that I made, guys? And this is why we're making this video. Hoyoverse decides the banner schedule in this game. Hoyoverse decides when they want to put characters on banner and when they don't want to put characters on banner. And you know what Hoyoverse decided to do? They decided to have a fucking, and let me just show you over here, right? We got to make sure that we're in full detail. There's a spending event in this patch, guys. Did you know that? They had a spending event lined up this fucking Predatory rerun banner with the spending event, and then they're releasing Suna, the unit right afterwards that power creeps the characters on that banner during the spending event. Isn't that like the most disgusting shit ever? Genuinely. Isn't this just straight up the most disgusting shit ever? This would be like rerunning Hu Tao and Arlecchino right before releasing Mavuika. And this is what the player base is dealing with now. You've just had the craziest power creep in the history of the game with the release of Yi Shungite, who blows up and destroys all the fucking content. You baited players into thinking, right, that, oh, the devs are so generous, right? You want to know what was one of the bait of the devs being so generous? The fact that they were giving out this Zhao for free, right? Everyone's just talking about, oh, the devs, they're so amazing. Zhao is a downgrade over Astra Yao in Yi Shungite teams unless you pull Zhao's signature. How do you think the people that pulled Zhao's signature feel, knowing that this character is likely going to be better for Yi Shungite than Zhao? Think about it this way. You're probably going to be in a situation where Suna is better than Zhao with her W engine. And so isn't it even doubly more predatory when you factor in that a lot of people probably got baited into pulling Zhao's signature because they were like, oh, she's free. I might as well pull her sig, get some good performance out of her. How much do you bet Suna at M0, W0, just the unit with no W engine, is going to be better than Zhao? How much do you bet that Suna at M0, W0 is going to be better than Zhao with Yi Shungite? I'll put money on it. I would put money on an M0, W0 unit right here being better than Zhao with her signature. Because, like I said before, guys, Hoyo decides the banner schedule in this game. And they're deciding to release the new best in slot support right after giving out this one for free, baiting player into pulling her W engine. And then they're giving out, right, or they're coming out with the next one right after putting this unit on this guaranteed banner. And is she gonna be better than both of them? You want to know why? Because they already did this before, guys. They released Dialin, who's better than every other stun agent combined. And people were ranting and raving during her beta about how overpowered Dialin was. And then she just releases and she's the most broken stun unit in the game. What are the chances you think this unit is going to go through changes if Dialin released in her present state, where Dialin does what every other stun agent in the game does all in one unit? Dialin released like that. Do you think this character is going to get, like, nerfed at all? Or do you think she's just going to be a straight upgrade over Zhao and Astra Yao? What are the chances of the worst case situation happening when every single time it's been the worst case scenario? Chances are pretty high. And so is it surprising at all that I decided to say this is some of the most predatory shit I've ever seen? And to have all of this conjoined with a literal fucking spending event where they're saying, thank you, please give us money. Also, we're gonna fuck the game's balancing in the ass next update. Please pull on these older characters. Please pull on these older characters for their last swan song before we power creep them into oblivion. Please pull them. You won't regret your purchase. Please also buy Zhao's W engine. And that's why we're deciding to cover this, ladies and gentlemen. Because I can't understand how there are so many players that can't seem to recognize that these are the business practices of this company. They decide to, on a whim, just completely invalidate your past purchases and expenditures. And the worst part about it, it's bait you into wasting even more right before they release a far superior product. That's the part that disgusts me the most. They're doing like a last-ditch effort to get you to literally burn your money on fire right before they release a way better version. It's so gross. And this is my take. If you actually like plan on keeping up with this game like meta-wise and stuff, you have to look at leaks. Otherwise, you're gonna pull this Astra Yao. You're gonna pull the Zhao W engine, not knowing that this is coming up in just 30 fucking days. And your money, your value, whatever you're saving for, it's all just fucking wasted. Because these absolute fucking joke developers, bro. These joke developers can't figure out how to sell units without making them just objectively better in every single way compared to the prior release units. Because that's how these units sell, guys. Do you think anyone's gonna pull this unit for their character design? No, unless they belong in fucking jail. The only people that are gonna pull is because this unit's fucking broken. And that's how it's going to be for every unit in this fucking game. You don't pull them because you like their design or anything. You pull them because they're overpowered as fuck. The entire game is going to be balanced around them. And if you don't have them, you can't play the end game anymore. That is this game. That is this meta. And you can see very clearly when they power creep the game, every single fucking update, every update, there's new power creep. How are reruns not the most predatory shit in the space? Oh, wait, they are. They are. That's why you got people like Average Luck Gamer just straight up saying, don't pull reruns in this fucking game. If there's anyone trying to tell you or convince you that this is not the right advice, skipping fucking reruns, bro, you're on crack. You're on crack. Because how the fuck can you not when this is how they balance this fucking game? So yeah, I just think overall, the ZZZ community is probably, undoubtedly, the most frustrating one I've ever seen to make content for. Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I can tell Zenless Zone Zero players for months on end exactly what's going to happen to their game and its balancing and its endgame and its unit design and its predatoriness. I can tell them exactly what's going to happen for 4 months in a row, and they still won't listen. And the funniest thing about it is watching this game cascade back down with pretty much every single metric you can possibly find following its release earlier last year, right? Like, bro, this shit is just, bro, it's going down, down on a merry-go-round. It is going down, down on a merry-go-round. It also turns out that its revenue numbers are getting manipulated too, where people were bragging about how much money it made, and it turns out the people curating the website were manipulating its numbers to be over like 30% higher than what it actually was. Guys, this is how insecure this community is. This is how insecure this community is. They'll literally just lie about the state of their game in every single way possible to say it's doing well. They'll lie in every single way possible to say that it's doing well. It is what it is, man. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.